Hello and welcome back to part 2 of You Are the Energy Source, I think is what I named it. What I wanted to name it and what I want to say now is allow your soul to 22 to take the wheel. It's funny because I didn't go get something to eat because I'm like, no, I gotta wait 30 minutes. But I shot a video, it was over that long, so it was 33 when I said that. We stopped at the other video, I just saw 44, at Before It's Too Late. I know, what am I, fucking petting my Rosie? I was on a roll before, I shouldn't have stopped, but I did for a reason, so maybe we're going to take, I heard a different turn of events. Interesting, it was 1:33, and I have written down 11:33 and 33:11, which I still haven't looked up, so maybe we'll be doing that. Letting your soul take the wheel. Letting it guide you. But we, the human part of us, has to, when we give that control, you know that song, Jesus Take the Wheel? Let your soul take the wheel. And it probably, no. It will be the opposite direction, 222, of everybody else. Until we gather together. The gathering. I've shot videos about that. Or a video about the gathering. Time to take responsibility for your fucking human life and your soul. I'm getting like the human affects the soul. So the soul is housed inside of your meat suit. It was 303 when I was saying that. The universe, which is you as well, because you have your innerverse, which is part of the universe. You, Y-O-U verse. Universe, I guess. I heard, protecting your auric field. But, how do you feel? How does it feel? What came to mind when I said protect your auric field? It's more on the darker spectrum of the light spectrum. Think about it. 404. So, protection. We need protection. That's what? Fear. 411. That's what fear. So, the state of fear is not a high vibration, is it? So, learning, reprogramming ourselves to be, getting acclimated, 444, acclimated into a new way of being, coming home to oneself, to our natural state. Rosie? Yes. When we stop and think, there we go, thinking and not feeling, but reflection. Maybe it's a better word I can use for it. When we stop to reflect on, I just heard our journey, to take a look around, our situation, so to speak. But to take a look around on a global, on a worldwide view, on a bigger picture, outside the box. You are now the watcher, watching, right? From that perspective. Sitting up high, looking down on the ant farm, on the Truman Show, called Your Life. Take Truman out and just put your name in it. Because we're all part of that show. The watchful eye. Moving in silence. Knowing that you're only here a short time. And it sucks when the ones you love are your own children or your own family or your own so-called friends. Are your worst enemy. Used by the ones who know how energy works. See, it doesn't matter. They, whatever, can try and suppress, hold back, keep from us the mystery teachings. It's only a mystery. Tell me. Because not everyone can have access to that. You can read it, you could do this, you could do that, and what I'm getting is no, it's a vibrational thing. Think in terms of energy. When you raise your consciousness, you have access to what's already in you, 808. I just heard, you are the power source. We are a power source. We're energy. What do you think controls that light, makes that fan go? Energy. Energy flows through us. We're the conduit. We're the fucking electrical lines, so to speak. That energy flows through us. Get outside and get barefoot. Vibrate. It raises your frequency regardless. Regardless of what you think or how you feel about it. You won't even realize it until you do. Till you are better. Till you feel better, till you're happier. Then you're like, then you know the contrast. Like an example is when I had my bladder infection and my body was fighting it off. Well, I felt like shit, bad. Real bad for a week. I did not know how bad, how sick I was. Not really, it's not sick. How my body was working to rid itself naturally. I had to help it along by drinking more water, probiotics, getting rest. I had no choice because I felt so bad that I had to lay down. Being done for me, not to me, see? You know what I mean? I heard it's all in context. So, not until I felt better, not until that Friday, I got up and I was like, man, I feel great. That 10:10, that's when I realized how bad I felt before, or what was occurring, what my body was going through to rid itself, to combat, to fight off, to expel, to purge the dis-ease in my body. We get inflammation and stuff because the inflammation, that's where, I'm not going to get into all that. You will begin to realize what a state, what a place, a state you were in before when you start coming out of it. Get barefoot, go outside. Connect with nature. Connect with yourself. Why do you think they talk about meditation so much? It's like, thank you, 11:11. It's like communicating with God, with the Most High, with yourself, the universe. I'm getting people bumps. I'm getting chills. Woo! Come home. Your soul says, come home to me. It's way better here than the rat race. You're fighting so hard to stay in and be in. Why? You're miserable there. That's where unhappiness is. But you can walk amongst the rest of the humans on this earth plane, but in a different, what we'll call it, timeline. Because it's the inner verse. It's the heaven within you. To be at peace, knowing that death and destruction's coming. It has to. It's just that way. And it's this time. I saw 12:31 and I heard December 31st when I was saying that, so whatever that means. It's a state of mind. Mind over matter. Belief shifts biology. But get outside barefoot. Get in nature. You feel better. Being in the sun, it just feels good. You don't have to meditate on it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do any of that. It just is. But we have a choice. No outside fuckery. No, nothing can fucking do that to you except for you. It's your choice. What is it you want? I just heard God's not going to come and save you. If you believe in free will, or you believe in the soul at all, the choice is yours. Walk that path like Jesus spoke about, or don't. It's your choice. Why do you think we have choices? There's no more putting the power of what happens to you in anything else's hands. It's you get it or you don't. Nothing or no one is going to get you there but you. It's your fucking choice. And all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So chances are, if you're here, chances are, I'm not saying everybody, but chances are if you're here, then you probably watch tarot, people that deliver messages and things like that, right? The supernatural things, right? So, with that being said, anyone can learn to read cards, right? And this, that, and the other thing. Not saying that they don't use intuition, because that's what they talk about. There's a difference between a card reader. We're not going to get into that. Figure all that out on your own. That's not the message. The message is, if you find yourself stuck in a cyclical, in a circular, on the wheel of listening to things that talk about outside influences all the time, that talk about people doing black magic, that talk about a twin flame journey, that talk about your ex all the time, that talk about the people that hate you and throw shade on you and this and that. If that's all they're speaking, they're keeping you in that loop, and they're part of the fuckery. They might not even know it themselves, but you know what? The way energy and things are working, pretty sure they might, I don't know, they could be stuck in a loop themselves. They don't know how to get out of it. They don't see. But if that's all the message is about, if it's not for your higher evolution or sharing information or sharing things to assist or to just remind you of something you already know, or just to confirm what you already know, or just to give you a reminder of what you already know, whatever. Sub it. Serena, are you listening? Yeah. I just unsubscribed to a bunch of shit. And I subscribe to a lot of people because isn't that how the algorithm works? And I was trying to help them out. The only way your energy can be sucked out of you is if you give attention to it. Yeah. I was watching Nana last night. I fell asleep listening to it. And I love him. He was speaking about things that I have spoke about in the past. And that for my own thing, that I needed to hear it again, but from someone else. See, thank you, because whether I speak it as it flows, or what I've experienced and lived through, either way, it hits different when we hear it from someone else, and it's a reminder. You know, it's like having that child or that partner that doesn't ever take your advice but lets someone else say it, and they're like, oh yeah, man, that's a great idea. Thanks, bro. But you just fucking sat and told them the same thing. It's like that with yourself. Huh? That's a twist, right? Makes perfect sense, though, doesn't it? I like that. Because it comes from you, you're not taking the advice. You have great advice. You know exactly what to tell people. You know exactly how it should be. Take your own advice. Ooh, I'm getting dizzy. That's for me. That's for all of us right here. You're a great friend to people that aren't friends to you. You're a great person to people that are jealous of you, that want to take your place. Nobody can take your place. Nobody's going to switch anything out. No one can do this or do that. It's all part of the fuckery. You got to know who you're talking to. You got to know what is talking to you. Because 1944, again, somebody's grandfather. I heard Grandpa Rose. That's my grandpa. On that song, Rat in a Cage. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. And I guess that's going to go along the lines of about what I was getting ready to talk about. Being angry at the system, being angry at what they do, being angry and holding on to the exes or the twin flame or whatever fucking bullshit, right? Whatever. Get mad at it. What does it do? It fuels. What else does it do? It feeds it. What else does that do when everyone collectively talks about it, thinks about, and puts their energy that goes out like fucking, you're all antennae, right? Just because you don't have a physical cord, a physical line attached to you that make an energy go, doesn't mean that there's not a cord attached to you that feeds a source and feeds you like an umbilical cord. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. A cage you locked yourself in. Because the difference now is you know better. 22, you know different. Because the information's out there. Maybe there's a lot of people who don't know anything about any of this stuff. I don't know. It's not up to me to know. It's not my business. My business is my own fucking human and what it's doing, 2244. Heaven isn't a place, it's a state. And for you, I was going to say Bible, well, I'm going to say it. You Bible thumpers that have no understanding of anything that's written in there and you can't see past it because, well, you're part of it. You're stuck in that matrix. But for those of you that are religious, I feel sorry for them. But then again, you can say, Lord, Father God, they know not what they do. You know what Father God says to me? Yes, they do. I just heard, and I'll take care of them. Now, whatever that means, that's Father's problem. Your problem is you. Only thing you need to take care of and worry about. Not even worry, not worry, but I heard all man for himself. Listening to Nana last night, because the video I got in on, what caught my eye was empath. I really don't know too much about all that. Empath is a label. It's a name for the way a person is, or yeah, right? So, in our matrix world, we have words. They teach us spelling, right? Because they know how energy works. Don't matter what they do, because we know different. When you work on, whether you know anything about spirituality or you know anything about God, or whether you know anything about anything, there's one thing that will occur. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of living a life of whatever, and you want to make changes, then change will happen. And then guess what happens with that? The side effect, the contraindication of that. You get closer to what? To God, to the divine, to what? To yourself, to your soul. You get to see things differently. Interesting, I said see things like that, huh? So you get to see things differently. Then you begin, the knowledge flows to you. I just got chills. From you. Been here before. Waking up I'm getting chills. The dragon. Waking up your soul. Waking up your soul that has been in a slumber, that's been in a hibernation. Wake up your soul. That's where all the knowledge is. Of all. Phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty little space. I just saw, and I was getting that when you completely awaken and transcend, that your soul, that your light being, like it just is so magnificent. A human cannot contain that. And I heard ascension. Ascending into that is leaving your human body. They call that death on earth. That's how it was coming through. That's how it was coming through. To be taken literal, to be taken symbolically, metaphorically speaking, whatever. If you just get lost and only think in terms of the words, I heard you're missing the meaning. But when you have ears to hear, then you'll hear it. It hits you different. You can see the symbolism in things. Everything becomes signs and symbols. Everything, you can see the double in the details. Meaning you can see the reality through the haze, through the fuckery. Notification. Just a few seconds ago when I was speaking, I had another notification from my son. So, yeah. I want to listen to that song, Rat in a Cage. I'll probably just, or actually read the lyrics. I'll probably just put that in the description. At the top. It came up in this. It came up in this little. I almost said reading. This isn't a reading. This came up in this little discussion. Well, I guess it's not a discussion. It's only me talking. But whatever. had a dream I was sitting on a fence. I was up on a fence or whatever. And I looked down, there was a litter of kittens. And at first they were just little tiny round balls, and then they were bigger and able to walk. Well, one walked out and was walking towards the street, and I'm screaming, yelling, and screaming from the top of this fence, and then a child, and I can't see the child, but it was like my child, was going after the kitten. And I'm yelling, no, get out of the street, and I woke up. But what just came, the reason why I brought that up, what just came to me was leaving the nest. You know, you were born into this family dynamic and into this litter, and now you're wandering off. You're wandering off into the street, right, towards the edge, and you're about to go in the street. Cars are coming. You know, you can get hit and killed. So what came through was, symbolically, a message to you guys is, and I guess to myself, be like that little kitten. Leave the pack and you're wandering off. Not into danger, though. Because, see, that child, somebody, you will come and save you. 3131, so to speak. But you were kept from that. The message is, have no fear. False evidence appearing real. You're not going to get hit by that car, so to speak. Time to leave the pack. Wander off into the unknown. This big wide world. How are you going to... What's out there? How am I going to live? How am I going to survive if I leave my mommy and my brothers and sisters? Or whatever. You know, you're whatever. Do it, I heard. You'll be fine. You're leaving the pack. You're no longer a rat in a cage. You're leaving behind that, like, life. And stepping into the great unknown. There's a whole world out there for you to explore. There's a whole world for you to see. It's your journey. Have a fucking blast. Namaste. Peace. Think in terms of energy. Rein yourself back in. Circle back. Take a moment when you notice you falling into a different frame of mind, into that time warp, into that old timeline, into that portal of not your highest vibration. I'm just going to say into the not love, into the not God part. Take a step back, 3333. You circle back to center, to your inner verse, to your moment, and in this moment, everything's great. 3344, everything's wonderful. 3347, I was supposed to say, so that is something to somebody, which 33 isn't even a time in the time, whatever. But 3347. All right, I'm going to write that down too. In orange, they say. Right here. Okay. What's interesting is how... Oops, I just wiped that 4 off. Is how they have me write things, you know? Pretty cool. Circle back to center. 3433. Circle back to center. Have purpose. Right now, right meow. Money. To buy things, right? especially from people that live in that world. But you know what I just heard would be great? Is that word propagate, whatever. Seeds from your non-GMO seeds, from the food that you grow, whatever you eat, save those seeds. You know what you can do? You can barter with them, with people, or just give them to people. Be part of the solution. Okay? I don't even know anything about any of that stuff, but I propagate seeds. Is that? I'll take seeds. What do you need? I have so many gifts, but I also can do things, all kinds of things. What do you need in exchange for some of those seeds to help sustain my life? Energy healing. What comes through to me as a message to you? Me to help you fucking build a deck or whatever, you know what I mean? In exchange for the seeds from your non-GMO seeds, from your food. People. All is not lost. You know why? Because on this planet Earth, everything we need is grown. No need to worry, mate. Plants, weeds, medicine, food. Don't get it twisted. It's not all that it seems. Get out of your bubble. And if friends and family and people you love and care about, whether they care and love about you, you can't do it for them. You gotta leave them. It gives me that whole, what I've been getting for years now, is that getting back to basics. Living simplistically, getting back to basics, getting back to, you don't have to have all this stuff and things. There's creative ways. And let me tell you what, in the gathering, when we gather together, because we won't have a choice probably, but when we begin to gather together, how amazing it's going to be, how amazing it is that each person brings with them something for everyone. And together, we make that village, we make that whole, we make that community together. Your vibration, your consciousness raises, and what? Then you unlock, you open what's in you, what you've already lived in other lifetimes. All that knowledge and wisdom is within you, within each one of us. And as we get out of the haze, the smog of all of this fucking frequency bullshit, all that bullshit, and we get out amongst the natural vibration of the world, of the universe, of the cosmos, of everything, it unlocks that in us. That knowledge flows to the surface. It comes out. It boils up. It comes out of us and it pours out of us. As within, so without. Think in terms of energy. It's a soul thing, baby. It's a soul thing. It's a you versus you. It's a me versus me journey. And not everybody wants to go on that journey, so there's nothing we can do for them. There's nothing we can do for anyone anyway. Only ourselves. Now, the side effect of us helping ourselves will trigger the light, the spark in someone else, and they too will follow. Leading by example. You go by the Bible, listen to what the one that came before me said, right? The truth, the way is within. Listen to what Jesus said. I'm saying Jesus because that's how most people know. Okay? Now, have a blessed day. And when you feel like working with crystals, work with crystals. They carry a vibration and energy also. No one's going to get out of this alive and they're human. But you want your soul to be alive, not dead in spirit. Thrown back into the cesspool of fuckery. Fuck that shit. If everything happens at one time, then it's already played out. So can we then change it? I don't know, can we? You want to fuck around and find out? I don't. I don't want to fuck around and find out if that's really a thing that can happen. I could be thrown back into the cesspool, the down under, the fucking hell or whatever. We're in hell now. Fucking climb out, bro. Love you. Peace. Namaste.